So I bought this old brick game, and honestly, it was kind of a brick. Most of the buttons didn't work. I got it knowing it was broken, but it was so cheap. I paid only $4 for it.
I put 2 AA batteries in, and immediately it turns on and starts playing the music. I flip it over and see the screen is working too. But then I start testing the buttons and man, almost nothing happens. Reset works, rotate works, but that's it. The rest of them completely dead. So it's not the screen and it's not the sound. The issue is definitely with the buttons or the contacts underneath.
It could be rubber pads, it could be some dirty contacts, it could be something else entirely. It's only one way to figure it out really, and that is crack it open.
I start with the 6 tiny screws on the back. They come out pretty easy. I popped off the cover and man, this is actually super clean. I can see the board, the speakers, the ribbon cable. Honestly, I was expecting a way more of a mess in here. It's basically brand new, apart from a little bit of crud I'm seeing around the battery area.
Yeah, this one doesn't look destroyed at all. It's pretty clean. The whole button setup runs through this PCB, through the ribbon cable to the main board. So if there's a problem, it's gonna be on this board right here.
I pull out the board. Something looks off right here. The contact pad for this button is looking pretty nasty. It's covered in corrosion and there is this dark patch on the trace leading to it. It literally looks like a scab on a wound. I'm getting this under the microscope to get a better look at what I'm actually dealing with. It's definitely nasty corrosion. It sits right there on the trace and the pad, so I'm using my tweezer to gently scrape it away. I need to get down to the bare copper to see if the trace underneath is actually damaged.
So I had a closer look, and yeah, the corrosion on the board is one thing, but the actual problem is that damaged spot on the board. It's not just dirty, the trace is actually broken. The line from the button contact to the ribbon cable just corroded away. And honestly, this explained the whole thing. You can clean those pads all day. If the trace is broken, the pads is dead. That's it.
First, I need to free up the ribbon cable so I can work easily. A little flux and some fresh solder, and it lifts right off. Perfect. Now I can move the board around however I want. I'm taking a cotton swab with some IPA and going over the pads. I want it clean before I solder it back on. Back under the scope. I'm scraping a little more on both sides of the brake. I want the copper nice and bright. All the oxidation has to go. Then a tiny drop of flux. Honestly, this is my favorite tool. Flux just makes solder flow so much better. Now I'm tinning both sides of the brake. Just a quick touch with the iron and a tiny bit of solder. And you can see it coat the copper in a nice shiny layer. Just like that. I'm doing one side at a time. It seems like a small detail, but if the copper isn't tinned first, the wire won't bond properly. Okay, for the actual fix, I got a super thin copper wire here. I'm placing it over the brake with my tweezers and giving it a quick kiss with iron on both ends. And there it is. This looks impossible if you haven't done it before, but it's really just about having a steady hand. I'm trimming the ends flush. I need it to be nice and flat, because any excess height could potentially create issues when the rubber buttons press down. Yeah, that looks clean. The trace is bridged.
So, that's the fix. One little wire across the brake. Honestly, the soldering took me like 2 minutes. Finding the problem wasn't that difficult either. You can actually see the damage with the naked eye. It's pretty obvious when you know what you're looking at. The microscope just made the repair easier. Way more control when you're looking at something that small.
Time to get the board back into the housing. It only fits one way, so I really can't mess this up. I'm lining up the ribbon cables and putting them through the holes I cleaned earlier. I tack one side down first, then finish the rest. Now the screws. I'm not over tightening. The plastic here is old and brittle. The last thing I want is to strip the threads now.
So, before I close everything up, the battery contacts, they were rough. One of the springs had pretty heavy corrosion on it. Check this out.
Yeah, this is a classic alkaline leak. All the green-blue gunk eats right through the metal if I leave it. I'm going at it with a stiff brush and some cleaner. I just keep scrubbing until I see the shiny metal again. If I don't do this properly now, I'm just back here fixing it again in a month.
By the way guys, if you're into these kinds of repair stuff, please consider subscribing. I'm doing this pretty often. Cheap kits, broken stuff, old gadgets. Now back to the video.
The spring slides right in. I put the cover on. Just make sure nothing gets pinched. That's a classic mistake. I put the screws back in, snug them up, but I don't force them. Look at that, it looks like a game console again, not just a pile of parts.
Alright people, the moment of truth. I don't know what to expect here. We cleaned the contacts, we bridged the trace, soldered everything back. But there's always a chance I missed something. It could just sit there doing nothing. Let's see.
Screen's on, and it's actually working. Rotate, yep, right, left, all responsive. Honestly, for a machine that was basically dead an hour ago, it feels brand new. Let me just play around for a while just to make sure everything holds up.
So yeah, we started with most of the buttons dead and a broken trace. We ended up with a fully working console. The real fix was one little piece of wire. Everything else was just cleaning up and don't giving up on it. If you got one of these in a drawer somewhere, don't toss it away. Open it up, check it out. It might just need a cleaning or a tiny little wire. If you liked the video, please drop a like, subscribe. See you in the next one.